Welcome to our midweek meditation. Today's midweek meditation is a little more random than most of them are. Most of them are pretty thematic with what we're doing in worship. But today's something that's a thought that came to me during my personal devotional time. And so comment below if you like the random or if you like the thematic. Just let me hear back from you. Our scripture for today is from Matthew chapter 28. It says, early on Sunday morning, as the new day was dawning, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to visit the tomb. Suddenly there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord came down from heaven, rolled aside the stone, and sat on it. His face shone like lightning, and his clothing was as white as snow. The guards shook with fear when they saw him, and they fell into a dead faint. Then the angel spoke to the women. "Don't be afraid," he said. "I know you are looking for Jesus who was crucified. He isn't here. He is risen from the dead, just as he said would happen. Come see where his body was lying. And now go quickly and tell his disciples that he has risen from the dead, and he's going ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there. Remember what I have told you." So the angels run quickly. They're filled with joy and a little afraid of what they've just seen, and on their way to share the message with the disciples, they run into Jesus himself, who gives them the same message, and they worship him there, seeing him after his resurrection. And so here's my random thought. In my devotional time this morning, I was looking at the story of Lazarus, when Jesus went and called Lazarus out of the grave and brought him back to life. You remember that when he got there, one of his sisters told Jesus that if he'd been there earlier, that Lazarus wouldn't have died. And Jesus basically says, hang around a few minutes and see what happens. And he tells them to move the stone from the entrance of the tomb. They had to move the stone so that Lazarus could get out. But as we just read in Matthew 28th chapter, when Jesus resurrected, the stone didn't have to move for him to be able to get out. The stone had to be moved for us to be able to see in. We wouldn't have been able to observe the empty tomb without the stone being rolled away. And what a blessing of Jesus' grace to us that simple act of having the stone removed is. So let's meditate on these things.